The content in this magazine could contain references of topics and difficult subject matter that may be triggering. Please honor yourself, inner knowing, and proceed with whatever help or guidance you feel is intuitively aligned. Welcome to Sovereign Magazine Podcast. I'm Nicole George, CEO and founder of Sovereign, and I'm so happy you are here. Today, we are joined by Arin Dosh, our in-house astrologer, who is here to guide us through the cosmic energies of the moon. Arin helps us understand how the celestial rhythms can support our journey to embodying our sovereign selves. Let us dive into what the stars have to share with us today. Keep listening to hear all of the intuitive messages meant for you. Hello. Today I have the privilege of reconnecting with Arin Dosh, our amazing in-house astrologer here at Sovereign Magazine. She specializes in traditional and Hellenistic astrology, and her work blends ancient techniques with clear, grounded guidance. Arin offers natal horary electional readings with a focus on timing, remediation, and meaningful client support. With a background in counseling and social work, she approaches astrology therapeutically, so she helps her clients meet life with more self-understanding, sovereignty, and soul. Welcome back, Arin.
Thank you so much for having me. Happy to be here.
Yes. Today, we're talking about the March New Moon issue, which our theme is power and ego. So what's going on in the cosmos?
Well, today we are talking about our Pisces New Moon on March 18th. This new moon will be at 28 degrees of Pisces, and this is the first non-eclipsed lunation since way back the Leo full moon on February 1st. So it has been a bit, about a month and a half, since we've had a non-eclipsed lunation. So remember that our eclipse themes will remain active for 18 months or so. But the more extreme, frenetic, destabilizing eclipse energy should now begin to dissipate, and clarity hopefully slowly returns to us. So this lunation really, I think, serves as a transitional moment or a moment of reflection. That's how it could best be used. We could sit and interpret what has changed throughout the eclipse season. You know, I think a lot of us perhaps may experience some sort of ego check during eclipse season. And so under this Pisces new moon is a great time, I think, to sit in meditation and go internal and sort of examine that. Pisces dissolves, right? And then Aries soon initiates, and this new moon is at the very end of Pisces. So within just a few days, we're going to get the spring equinox, and it'll be time to start something new. So the ruler of this eclipse, as a Hellenistic astrologer, I do use the traditional rulers, and so the traditional ruler of Pisces is Jupiter. And he is still in his exaltation, now direct at 15 degrees of Cancer. So he provides a compassionate, protective, and emotionally intelligent influence here, really helping us if we do choose to sit in reflection. There's soft strength, emotional honesty, and surrender over dominance, wisdom over reactivity. Along with Jupiter ruling, we find that Mars is at 12 degrees of Pisces, co-present this new moon, lending action driven by emotion, impulse, probably but without clarity, and again can trigger martyr complexes, savior complexes, emotional pressure, or spiritualized anger. So watch for those themes. Mercury is still retrograde at 8 degrees of Pisces. So again, misunderstandings can be possible. Analytical clarity dissolves to make room for intuitive messages. Mercury is also conjunct Rahu, the north node. So as we talked about during eclipse season, Rahu is a hungry, bodiless head, a disembodied head. And the Vedic astrologers do see Rahu's constant gobbling as a sort of like egoic attachment or attachment to the material world. And that's often what we get with North Node eclipses. They can be good for material things, and the South Node is better for spiritual. So Mercury is coming off of and really stationing direct on top of Rahu, this egoic attachment, grasping energy. So this could look like emotional volatility, words fueled by insecurity, and inflated ego narratives if we allow it to get out of control. So again, I think the key with this lunation is to take time for self-reflection and to tune into our insight and what our heart wants. This new moon is also exactly sextile Uranus at 28 degrees of Taurus, so by degree. And this can provide sudden insight, clean breaks from old patterns, sort of aha moments that feel liberating. And at its best, I think this energy could help break through illusions or emotional loops. So if your mind is just spinning after eclipse season, Uranus can snap us awake. And the sextile is that sort of breakthrough energy that can stop a spiral. For our background weather, we still have Saturn and Neptune traveling very closely together and still generally sextile Pluto in Aquarius. So we're still feeling this erosion of old identity structures, fluidity in how power is defined, and potentially spiritual maturation. That would be Saturn, Neptune at its very best. And then following this new moon, we have March 20th. As I just spoke about, the sun will enter Aries. This brings the spring equinox in the northern hemisphere. And we see rebirth, clarity, lots of energy returning. The day and night are now equal, but the day is taking over, so the days will get longer from here on out. Mercury is stationing direct, and that helps stabilize communication. He's stationing direct the same day on the 20th. Things are illuminated and can start to seem clearer. Mercury is still in Pisces, but at least he's direct. On the 21st, Mars trines Jupiter from Pisces to Cancer. This is supportive action, courage with compassion. But again, we want to watch for those martyr or savior dynamics and focus, really on ourselves and fixing our own problems. I think ideally is the best way to use this energy. Then the sun conjoins Neptune at 1 degree of Aries. And this is transcendent, spiritual, potentially dreamlike. There's also potential for ego dissolution here, and I think it's an excellent time for meditation and spiritual practice as the sun conjoins Neptune. The sun will then conjoin Saturn on March 25th, just 3 days later. And again, we get reality checks, boundaries. There could be tension or conflict between the needs or desires of the individual versus those of others. And we could be inspired to blaze a new trail in one area of our life, wherever this Saturn-Neptune conjunction has fallen in Aries, wherever Aries falls in your chart. On March 25th, we get the sun sextile Pluto, and this will be an empowerment after the sort of stripping down of old structures that we've experienced over the last couple of months. Authenticity can reemerge. March 28th, we'll see Saturn sextile Pluto, and this is structural integration of transformation, long-term stabilization. And then March 30th, Venus will enter Taurus. And so here she's in her rulership. This should be relieving, I think, after really the last couple of months. There should be some embodiment, grounding, which we haven't experienced in a bit, some really deep settling after a lot of emotional intensity. So I think this lunation is a moment where we can pause and look back at the events of eclipse season. Over the course of the lunar period, there's a lot of opportunity to dissolve ego and illusion truth can emerge. And by the end, we return to embodiment and sensual pleasure with that Venus in Taurus.
So let me see if I got this right. Basically, February, a little bit into March, we had this massive tornado. And now we're coming out of that. And now we're kind of like the calm after the storm and we're rebuilding. Is that kind of a good analogy?
For sure. I think by the time this new moon in Pisces comes around, we may feel exhausted. Pisces can be, if you have a lot of Pisceans in your life, maybe they like to nap, listen to music, and that may be the medicine that our souls need after eclipse season. I think it will just be very eventful. We will feel very sort of tugged by fate or forces larger than ourselves. And that can be exhausting. And I think that's perhaps where we land here at this Pisces new moon. But it's not, all bad. It's a beautiful moment to rest, recalibrate, turn inward, reflect on what has changed, and then prepare for that spring equinox moment where we really then reconnect once again with that Saturn-Neptune conjunction while the sun goes into the beginning of Aries and reconnect with our new mission, perhaps.
Yeah, we're going to plant those seeds, right? Yeah. All right. Okay. Well, if you are enjoying these, please like, share, and subscribe. And if you want to talk to Arin more, she's in our community-sovereign-magazine.com. And all of her details are in the show notes. So if you want to connect with her in a different way, you can connect with her there. She's going to be back for the April full moon and new moon. So if you're enjoying these, if you subscribe, you'll always get them. Thank you so much. And we'll see you on the next one.
Thanks.
Thank you for listening. I'll be back tomorrow with more ways to step into your sovereign self as I begin the interviews with our soul-led entrepreneurs. Subscribe to our magazine and podcast and join our global community for all the magic. Details on how to find your weekly horoscopes or connect with Arin are in the show notes. And if you enjoyed this episode, please leave a review. It helps us reach our goal of guiding 5 million to their sovereign selves.